Welcome to Listen by Gene Ginsberg. This audio experience and podcast is all about social media, digital marketing, entrepreneurship, and interviews with top entrepreneurs in the digital and social space. I am your host, Gene Ginsberg, digital marketing expert, #1 best-selling author, and award-winning entrepreneur. I will be sharing with you strategies, tips, and tactics on how to grow your business and your social media following. Thanks for listening. Everyone, Gene Ginsberg here, and welcome to another episode of Listen by Gene Ginsberg. Today is going to be a solo episode, and I'm going to talk about a huge piece of marketing that not a lot are actually utilizing that I think is very important, and that is audio. So audio, of course, was very big for the TV, back in the 30s, 40s, even the 50s before the television came around. And it seems to be swinging back around now to the modern times. And audio has been a huge medium in the past several years, and it's growing a lot. And I'll talk a little bit about the stats here. And I think one of the reasons audio is popular is because you can use audio and listen to your podcasts, your audiobooks while you're driving or walking the dog. It's not as involved as watching a video. Obviously, you can't watch a video while you're driving. So you're getting the information through a medium like audio, but you don't necessarily have to have your eyeballs on the medium of video like you do. So that's why I think audio has become much more prevalent lately. And weekly online audio listening is estimated to be at 176 million people in the US, or 62% of the population. That's age 12 or more, which is 7 million more as opposed to 2020. So this is an all-time high for this category. So if you're a business owner and you're looking to use audio for your business, how do you promote your business using audio? Well, I'm going to share a few things today. So first one, and I think might be a pretty easy one to create, is a podcast. Now, a podcast is something that you can listen to, or your audiences or your potential clients can listen to. That's everything that's related to content about your business or content in your industry. One thing to keep in mind, when it comes to all marketing, content is going to be critical, right? You don't want to just promote your business, but you want to talk about things that are important that surround your business or surround your industry. So, for example, my podcast, Listen by Gene Ginsberg, the one you're listening to now, is all about digital marketing, entrepreneurship, and technology. And I find people or leaders of tech companies or technology companies in general who are interested in being guests on my podcast. So I create content around that, but it's also related to my business because we work with a lot of technology companies. So it's a matter of tying in content into your business. And in terms of podcasting, about 162 million people in the US, or 57% of the US population over 12, have listened to at least one podcast in their lifetime. And for more if you're addicted to podcasts like I am. So how do you create a podcast? So come up with an idea. What is that content idea for you and your business? First thing would be to get hosting. One thing to keep in mind is that iTunes, where most of us listen to podcasts, is not a hosting platform. It is just a syndicator of audio content. So you do have to get a hosting platform. So I use SoundCloud as my hosting platform, but there's many other ones out there that you can just Google hosting for podcasts. So get your hosting. You want to integrate your podcast with iTunes, Stitcher, and any other syndicator out there. I mean, I would say the main one is iTunes, but there's a lot. Of course, there's Spotify, so you can syndicate all of that content out through an RSS feed, which automatically gets created through your hosting platform. So you would record your podcast and then upload it to your hosting platform, which will then automatically get syndicated out to iTunes and Stitcher and any other platform, and then promote it to your social media so that your users and your audiences know that you have a podcast and that it's really cool. And then the other thing you can do with podcasting is advertising. So you can buy ad space on podcasts that are relevant to you and your business. And this is a very underrated and low-cost strategy now. I don't know how it will be in the future. It might actually hit some big strides in the future. But for now, it's a very underrated way to get advertising for your business pretty easily. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about platforms. There's a few platforms, and of course there's many more than a few, but I'm just going to highlight a couple that I think are important to talk about. So one is Clubhouse, and that's been proven to be a big player in the audio space. Clubhouse is almost, I would call it a live podcast. So it's all audio. It's an app on your phone, iPhone or Android, and it's live. So it's almost like a radio show, but live, not pre-recorded. And Clubhouse at this point has raised over $110 million. And I actually had a guest on my show. This was back a few months ago, Nick Bradley, who has generated over $1.7 million in revenue just from Clubhouse alone. So it's a huge piece and a new type of technology in audio that is really worth checking out. It's free. Just sign up. And before, when I signed up for it back in the end of 2020, it was in beta, so you can only get like an invitation, but now I think it's available for everybody. And then another platform that is interesting that I know about is Verbal, and that's a creator-first free streaming audio platform for all audio types, including user-generated audio. And that goes across multiple categories, from everything from comedy to horror to bombs and news. I mean, all kinds of categories. And definitely Verbal has revolutionized the way people distribute and listen to audio-centric information across the web. And just like YouTube, Verbal also allows content creators to upload, earn, and subscribe and monetize their work. And it's been around for a couple of years. And with Verbal, you can make short snippets out of your podcast or compile playlists for themes and topics. So, for example, if you have a podcast about true crime, you can create playlists on Verbal for other true crime podcasts and episodes to make it into a playlist. So that's another platform that's been around for a couple of years that's also in the podcasting audio space. Other things you can do when it comes to promoting your business is a really famous or really popular way of getting email addresses is through lead magnets. And lead magnets are just a free piece of content that you can post on your website, and people will then come. In order to download this free piece of content, they would need to add their email address. So this is a way to obtain email addresses from your audiences. Now, a lot of times it's usually been an ebook or some sort of PDF. Well, the other idea is to just use an audiobook instead of an ebook. So make that ebook into a short audiobook. Conceptually same thing. Your user and your audience will then download that audiobook and use it as a lead magnet, and then exchange for their email address. And then the last piece, because I think this is also very important, is audiobooks in general, right? The ones that you see on Audible and similar platforms. And for audiobooks, revenue has been up over the last couple of years, 17% compared to 2019. And the audiobooks market size measured by revenue is about $1.3 billion in 2021. So it is a huge market, audiobooks. So how do you create an audiobook? Well, you would write a book first. And if you already have a book written, like myself, it's pretty then straightforward to create an audiobook. All you do is record it on an audio platform. Make sure that you use a space that doesn't have a lot of background noise, or any background noise that is pretty good in soundproofing. You then edit the audio recording into an audio book, and then upload that to the Kindle Direct Publishing or Amazon platforms, so that's where your users can download it through Audible, and then promote that to social media. So pretty straightforward when it comes to creating an audiobook. Highly recommended. Something I'm working on for my book that I published now 4 years ago in September. I'm actually promoting that book and creating that for an audio as a part of my entire suite of books into an audiobook. So the last piece is just there's a lot of changes going on in audio, and make sure that you're using audio as part of your marketing strategy, whether that's a lead magnet with an audiobook, creating your own audiobook, or using platforms like Verbal or Clubhouse, or just creating your own podcast to bring in more users and more people to listen to your story and content about your business. So hope that was helpful. Definitely would encourage you to use audio for your business. And I will see you guys on the next episode.